Hello, my dear students. How are you? Anticipating that you are in good health. Today, I'm going to discuss with you a very interesting topic, and it's one of my favorite topics. Oh no, it's not Harry Potter. It's something that every individual thinks about every single day, whether sitting in the office, in the movie theater, in the classroom, everywhere. Yes, I am talking about food. Today, we are going to discuss the grade 6 NCRT first chapter, that is food and where does it come from. So, before we start with the topic, let us know the learning objectives for this chapter. We are going to list the food varieties and the ingredients. We are also going to identify the source of the food material. We are going to name the edible parts of the plant. And we are also going to categorize the animals according to their food habits. Now, when I say the word food, what comes to your mind? For me, pav bhaji and french fries, they are my favorite foods, and therefore those are the things that come to my mind. What are your favorite food? List them out on a piece of paper, and I will tell you why I have asked you to do so. Now, what is food? Food is anything that is eaten for survival or living is called as food. And why do we need it? Because it provides us with energy. It gives us essential nutrient for growth and development. And it also keeps us healthy and provides us essential nutrient to fight the diseases. Now, do you remember? Just now I asked you to list out your favorite food. Okay. So now, my favorite food is pav bhaji. One of my friend's favorite food is chicken curry. My father's favorite food is chapati and sabzi. My mother loves bitter gourd. When one of my friends, she loves pizza. So every person has a different food choice. And why do we have so many food choice? Why do we have so many varieties? Let us discuss. Now consider our country, India. You can see towards the southern region, more of rice is consumed. Why do you think more of rice is consumed in this region? Because rice requires more of water for growth of these crops. Now, in the southern region, there is more water available, and therefore, rice can be grown easily. And apart from that, you can see in their diet, fish is also there. And why is fish there? Because the southern part of India is in the coastal region, therefore, the fish occupation is very easily done. If you can see in the northern region, more of wheat is consumed. Wheat requires more of humid nature or environment, and apart from this, less water, and middle region of India has both of these qualities extremely available, and that is why wheat is grown very well in this region. So these are the reasons why we have different varieties of food. Now you can see there are many food items shown on this map. Now, do you think all these food items are made up of only one single food? No. We require many different food items to make a particular dish. So what are these food items called as? They are called as ingredients. So what is an ingredient? Any of the food or substance that are combined to make a particular dish is called as an ingredient. So let us talk about French fries. For making French fries, you need a potato, some oil, salt, and spices. So these are the ingredients which are required for making the French fries. Now, from where does these ingredients come from? So what are the sources of these ingredients? For example, potato. It comes from plant. So let us discuss about the sources of this ingredient. So the food we obtain are divided into three sources. One is the plant source, the second is the animal source, and then is the natural source. So what are plant sources? Plant sources or and food items that are obtained from the plants are called as plant sources. For example, rice, wheat, spices, etc. What are animal sources? The food items that are obtained from the animals are called as animal sources. And what are natural sources? The food items that are neither obtained from the plant nor from the animal are called as the natural sources. For example, the water and the salt. So we have some food items or food dishes which are listed here, and we have their ingredients. So let us try to identify its sources. So first we have idli. For idli, we need the ingredients like rice, urad dal, salt, and water. So what are the sources for these ingredients? Rice we obtain from the plant. Urad dal we obtain from the plant. Salt is a natural source, and water as well as a natural source. Then we have chicken curry. Chicken curry, the ingredients which are required to make chicken curry are chicken, spices, oil, ghee, and water. So chicken. it is an animal source. Spices are plant sources. Oil can be obtained from animal as well as plant source. Even ghee can be obtained from plant or animal. While water, it is a natural source. Now we have another dish, that is kheer. For making kheer, you require milk, rice, and sugar. So milk is an animal source, rice is a plant source, and sugar is a plant source. Now, do you remember you had listed down your favorite food item? Now I want you to list down its ingredients and its sources so that we can know whether you have understood whether it's a plant source or a animal source or whether it's a natural source. Now let us try to find out the parts of the whether the whole plant or the parts of the plant are edible or not. But before that, let us try to understand what are the parts of the plant. So here we have the roots. So roots absorb the nutrients and water for the plant. Then we have the stem. So the stem helps as a transport system. They transport the water and nutrients to all the parts of the plant. Then you have the leaf. Leaves are also called as the kitchen of the plant because they make the food for the plant. Then you have the fruits and the flowers, which are the reproductive parts of the plant. So the fruit contains the seed, which helps the plant to reproduce. Now, do you think all the parts of a plant are edible or not? So there are some plants for which only some parts are edible, and for some plants there are more than one parts are edible. So let us try to identify. Now first, before that, let us try to understand the term edible. What do you mean by edible? Edible is eatable. So any part or anything that is eatable and which will not harm us are called as edible. So we are going to try and identify some edible plant parts. So first we have the root. So there are some edible roots. You cannot eat all the roots, but there are some roots which are edible. So for example, we have the beetroot, the radish, the carrot, and the turnip. Then we have some edible stems. You cannot eat stem of any plant. So there are some plants which are edible. So you have the onion, the celery, the potato, and the ginger. So these are the edible roots and stems. Then apart from that, let us see if are there any edible leaves. Yes, there are some edible leaves like spinach, lettuce, cabbage, and apart from that, fenugreek is also a edible leaf. And then there are some edible flowers as well. You have broccoli and cauliflower. You know, rose rose petals are also eaten. There is a sweet that is made up of the rose petals that is called as the gulkand. Then you have some fruits. Actually, there are many fruits which are edible. You have mango, orange, apple, grapes, okra, brinjal. All these are fruits which are edible. So these are the main parts of the plant which are edible. Apart from these plants, even seeds are edible. So in seeds, we have beans, kidney beans, gram, peas. All these are the edible seeds which we humans can consume. So have you heard about sprouted seeds? Okay, you must be wondering what are sprouted seeds, or even if you must have consumed it. Sprouted seeds are nothing but the seeds with the radicle or the roots. So you can grow or you can have your own sprouted seeds. Take some mung beans and wash it properly and put it in water and keep it overnight. And then drain out that water, clean those seeds and put it in a muslin cloth, in a wet muslin cloth, and tie tightly, and then keep it overnight again. You will see some radicals coming out of these beans. These are called as sprouted beans. These are very healthy. You can put some salt and some masala and have it. So these are the main parts of the plants which are edible. Do you know there are some plants which have more than one part that is edible? For example, the banana plant. You know, the stem, the flower, and the fruit all are edible, and even the leaf is used to serve the food. So now next we have the animal parts which are edible. So we have some animal products which are edible. Now you have the fish. The fish is completely consumed, leaving its bone. Then you have the pork, the meat, the chicken, the eggs. All these are animal products. Then you have some animal byproducts. So the animal byproducts are milk, cheese, paneer, curd. All these things are animal byproducts which we obtain from the animals. Then you have cod liver oil. The cod liver oil is obtained from Atlanta codfish. The liver is extracted, and from that the oil has been extracted. This cod liver oil is very healthy. It is rich in vitamin A and vitamin D. Then you have honey. Honey is also obtained by bees. So what do the bees do? The bees take go to the from one flower to another and suck the nectar, and then they go to the honeycomb, and then they make it, convert it into honey, which is also an edible part. Then let us try to understand the human food habits. So the human food, according to the food consumed by the humans are divided into different food habits. So the first is the vegans. The vegans are the people who completely or strictly consume plant products. They do not consume any animal products or meat products or dairy products. They only consume plant products. Then you have the lacto-vegetarians, the ones which are in Indian English are also called as vegetarians. So these are the people who consume dairy products and plant products, but they do not consume eggs, meat, or anything else. Then you have the ovo vegetarians. The ovo vegetarians do consume eggs, but they do not consume dairy products, and they also consume the plant products, and they do not consume meat, etc. Then you have the lacto vegetarians. Lacto ovo vegetarians do consume dairy products and egg products, but they do not consume meat or fishes. They also consume the plant products. Then you have the pescatarians. The pescatarians are the people who consume fish and seafood, but they do not consume meat at all. They even consume plant products and dairy products. Then you have the polotarians. Polotarians are the people who consume poultry products, but they do not consume meat products. So these are called meat products, like the animal meats. They only consume poultry products, like the birds or the fowl. Then you have the flexitarians, or also called as non-vegetarian in Indian English. They are the people who consume meat and all the other products that are consumed by the upper food groups. So these are also called as non-vegetarian. And the lacto-ovo-vegetarians are also called as eggetarian in Indian English. Now let us try to identify the food habits of animals. So on what basis are the animals divided? So the animals are divided according to their food habits into 5 groups. The first are the herbivores, the second are the carnivores, the third omnivores, then you have the parasites and the scavengers. Herbivores are the animals that eat only plant. So example, we have deer, goat, cow, horses, etc. The herbivores, they have sharp, blunt incisors which help them to chew the food properly, and they have a complex digestive system. Then we have the carnivores. They're flesh eating animals. These have the examples of carnivores are lion, tiger, snake, wolf, etc. These have sharp pointed canines which help them to tear their food properly. And even the carnivorous birds have pointed beaks which help them to tear the food properly. Then we have omnivores, which consume both plant and flesh eating animals, like they eat flesh as well as plants. The examples are dogs, humans, bear, crow, etc. So they have both kinds of teeth. They have the incisors as well as the canines which help them to eat their food properly, achieve their food properly. Then we have the parasites. The parasites are the organisms which obtain their food by either living inside the other organism or on the body of other organism. Example, lice and tapeworm. So they obtain their nutrients from these organisms. Then you have the scavengers. The scavengers are the organisms which feed on the dead body of other animals. Example, you have the jackals and vultures. There is one more category, that is sanguivores. Sanguivores are organisms which feed on the blood of other organisms. Example, leech. Then you have the female mosquitoes, and there are some species of bats also. So this is about the whole chapter. I hope you liked it. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.